Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It is my fourth and final day in Sevilla. I only have a few hours today before my flight at 6:30 p.m. So I'm just gonna go enjoy it and hit the ground running. I have a couple places left that I want to see. So if that sounds good, let's go jump into it. Oh, and I forgot to say, if this is the first video you're seeing in my Sevilla series, I have lots of other travel vlogs on my time in Sevilla if you're planning a trip here. So I'm gonna leave them all linked down below. So I started my last day in Sevilla at my hotel, the Hotel Giralda Center. I do have a YouTube review on this great hotel, great rooftop pool, great breakfast included in my room rate. Then I hit the ground running and I stumbled upon this craft and farmers market on my walk to the Parque de María Luisa. So I guess that happens on some Sundays. So definitely research that and see if that's happening while you're on, because there were so many cute little stalls and gift item options there. But my destination of the day, as mentioned, was the park. Something about me that you might not know if you're just tuning into this channel is I love parks and gardens. And this park was originally the private gardens of the Palace of San Telmo. It was gifted to the city in 1893 by the Duchess of Montpensier, Maria Luisa, so the namesake of the park. And it covers about 100 acres, making it Sevilla's main green space and a true escape from the city's heat. Although, let me tell you, even during the time that I went in October, it was toasty. Now, Plaza de España is also on the other end of this park, but I had already done that on an earlier day, so I chose just to explore the park itself. And some great other facts about this is many of the fountains, the pavilions, the tiled benches, they were built for the 1929 Ibero-American Exposition. It's the same event that gave us the Plaza de España. And the park itself has a Moorish revival style with romantic touches like hidden pavilions, tiled bridges, and even lotus-filled ponds. And as you can see, there's so much greenery, so you can see the palm trees, but did you know it was also, or it is also home to some exotic plant species from around the world. So definitely a great spot to go check out, and especially if you're traveling with kids, nice little spot to let them get some energy burnt there. Then I went and had a little wander around the river. Now I'm gonna pronounce this incorrectly, but it's the Guadalquivir River, and this is the river between Sevilla and Triana, and it is actually apparently the only major navigable river in Spain. It stretches over 750 kilometers from the mountains of Jaén to the Atlantic Ocean, so that's quite cool. And for the 16th and 17th centuries, it was a lifeline of Spain's empire, with ships carrying riches from the Americas and docking in Sevilla, so hence the American connection. What I noticed on this day is that there were so many cute little restaurants and things around the river. So I was there a little bit in an off-shoulder season, but had I had more time, I would have liked to explore it more. And then what you're looking at here now is the Torre del Oro, and this was built in the 13th century by the Almohads. It means Tower of Gold. Some say because it once shimmered with golden tiles, others because of the golden laden ships docking nearby. And it was apparently part of the city's medieval defenses, and it connected to the city walls to control the access from the river. So apparently a heavy chain once stretched from the tower across the river to another tower, preventing enemy ships from sailing upstream. How cool is that? And so you can see here now we're looking across the river. So imagine that chain stretching all the way across. I think that's pretty cool. And during the age of exploration, apparently the tower stored treasures like gold and silver brought back from the Americas. Today it's actually a naval museum, and you can climb to the top for panoramic views of the river and city. Now, I didn't have time to do this. I decided instead to walk along the other side of the river. I was flying back to London on this day, so I was getting my steps in, and I explored a little bit of Triana. Oh, this is funny here. I think this is probably quite a touristy thing, but maybe to symbolize some of the old historic ships that would cross this river. But getting back to Triana, it has always been the artistic soul of Sevilla. It's the famous birthplace of flamenco. So there's a lot of flamenco venues here. Now, historically, it was the neighborhood of sailors, potters, gypsies, and it gave a distinctive character from the rest of Sevilla. So Calle Betis, which is the colorful riverside street, it's lined with bars and terraces, and I did notice that, should I have had time to stop. And it's also famous for its azulos, these ceramic tiles, which I discovered a lot of in Portugal, but are also in Sevilla. So yeah, just a really lovely stroll. I'm sad I didn't have more time to explore more of Triana or go to see a flamenco. It was really, for me, just a quick little walk just to get my steps in, get a bit of sightseeing in. I always think it's good to get your bearings should you return, because then you'll know some of the things you really want to do that you didn't have time to do. And the little loop that I did from the bridge over near the Torre del Oro over to this other bridge was actually a really nice little lap. So if you didn't want to walk too far, that was great. Then I was really hungry and thirsty. At this point, it was pretty toasty, as I mentioned. So I was actually in search of a smoothie because I had had a pretty big brunch at the hotel, and I was gonna go get something for like a late lunch, early dinner at the airport. So I found this place called Milk Away, and this delightful matcha smoothie hit all the right notes, like a little caffeine kick, little bit of nutrients from the banana and the other fruits in there with the matcha. It was perfect. And then I just explored some of the streets I hadn't seen yet in Sevilla. Like, the architecture in Sevilla is just so incredible. Every corner you turn, there's just something lovely to see. So I think sometimes it's nice just to enjoy without having too much of an agenda. And I just took some gorgeous pictures and just enjoyed it. It really just is such a delight of a city, and I would say it's incredibly walkable, especially if you're a walker like I am. You don't really have to ever walk too far from one end to the other. I didn't really even play around with things like taxis or Uber. I did use Uber to get me back to the airport, and I think I just took a local taxi on my way in from the airport. But yeah, just spent my last bits slurping down my smoothie, strolling, enjoying, just soaking up all the last minutes, trying to see everything I possibly could before my time had come to a close. So I just wanted to share with you, I'm Jessica with a Y in Spain, which I loved. And look at the groovy kind of, I almost felt like I was going clubbing and not getting on my British Airways flight. But yeah, then it was back home to London. So that concludes my last day in Sevilla. So if you are just tuning in, I think this is my 4th video, or I guess 5 if you count the hotel review on Sevilla. I'm not quite done yet. I am gonna do a roundup video. So what I always like to do is I like to do daily itinerary videos. So if you are planning a trip and you wanna see how someone would spend a certain amount of days in the city, you can actually like steal my day-by-day itinerary if you want, or look at all my day-by-day itineraries and mix them up in your liking. So I always do those, and then what I do at the end for a trip like Sevilla that was so great is I will do a roundup video with all the great things that I saw. So if you want to just look through and decide what makes sense for you versus watching 4 videos and a hotel review, I totally get that. So because these videos live for a long time on the internet, I will leave all the videos, all the blog posts, everything I have on Sevilla linked down below in the video description box. If you're wondering how to find those, just click on the title of the video. It will take you, and you can, usually there's like a little more button that you can go into the video description. So you can check out all the great things. But if you found this video helpful, I would love it if you hit that like button. I would also love it if you leave a comment. That really means the world to me. And if you have any tips on Sevilla, on things I didn't get to experience, definitely leave a comment, because sharing is caring here on this channel, and you might even be giving me some extra tips for the next time I go, because I would love to go back. And then last but certainly not least, I would love it if you would consider hitting the subscribe button. I always think when you're speaking so much, articulating is quite funny, but yes, I would be so honored if you would subscribe to my channel. It costs you nothing. It just means that you see my latest videos when you pop back on YouTube. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you soon.